Lyman High School marquee, spreading the word. We are live on Brighthouse Sports Network tonight for a top 5 matchup in boys volleyball. It's number 5 Winter Park taking on number 2 Lyman in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Good evening, everyone. I'm Austin Lyon, joined by Mitch Sadowski. So glad you've joined us for our first ever boys volleyball broadcast here on Brighthouse Sports Network. And fittingly, we've got 2 of the area's top programs.
Yeah, Lyman and Winter Park year in and year out are 2 of the stronger programs in Central Florida. There's going to be a lot of high-level volleyball tonight, and it's going to be a great experience for everyone to watch.
Winter Park is coming off its best season ever. Last year, the Wildcats reached the state semifinals for the first time in program history. And if Winter Park wants to return to the state finals, Evan Lockwood is a key player.
Yeah, Evan's a very experienced player for a junior. He leads the team with 135 kills, 51 blocks. He's definitely one of the leaders on this team.
Winter Park also heavily relies on its other outside, Jordan Little.
Yeah, Jordan Little's another dynamic attacker. They're going to look to him to shoulder another big offensive load. He's coming off a back injury. He's had 2 weeks to rest, so we'll see how that plays out tonight.
Tonight, those 2 attackers go up against undefeated Lyman. This is one of the best teams that the Greyhounds have ever had, and a big part of that is Stosh Kiersnowski.
Yeah, he shoulders a big load on offense. It's a very spread attack, but when they need a big kill, they're going to be going to him. He's got 148 kills on the season. That's a big reason why they're 15-0.
And patrolling the back row for the Greyhounds is Chad Burkhart.
Yeah, Chad carries a big load. He's going to pass a lot of balls. He's going to lead the team on defense. He's also going to be their vocal and an emotional leader on the court.
Lyman has lost 4 in a row to Winter Park. The Greyhounds hope to end that streak tonight and continue their unbeaten season. First serve coming up next here on Brighthouse Sports Network.
The Brighthouse Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Right now at Subway Restaurants, get a 6-inch Black Forest ham sub for just $3. Subway, eat fresh.
Back here at Lyman for the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week between the Greyhounds and the Winter Park Wildcats. We'll also be keeping tabs on Cypress Creek and East River tonight. And our Despina Barton is in East Orange County. All right, Despina, thanks so much. We'll look forward to hearing updates of that match throughout the night. We got one more break. Starting lineups and first serve coming up. It's Winter Park and Lyman in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week.
The Brighthouse Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Right now at Subway Restaurants, get a 6-inch Black Forest ham sub for just $3. Subway, eat fresh.
Starting lineups being introduced here at Lyman High School. A terrific crowd on hand to watch our first ever boys volleyball broadcast here on Brighthouse Sports Network. A top 5 matchup. Number 2 Lyman and number 5 Winter Park. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both sides tonight. There is Winter Park, the Wildcats with an 11-1 record. Evan Lockwood, who we profiled in the open, leads the team in kills and blocks. Cooper Devlin playing much better the last couple of weeks, and Aaron Gordon, the libero, is a freshman for the Wildcats. For Lyman, not a single senior among their starting 7 players. Middle's a key part of the offense. Kyle Reed and Kenny Lawrence. And both outside hitters, Kiersnowski and Zach Reining, are 3-year starters for Coach Russell Williams. These two teams have combined 26-1 so far this season, both in the top 5 of our latest Brighthouse Sports Network boys volleyball rankings. How about some keys to this match as we get ready to get things underway?
Well, one you just touched on is looking at Aaron Gordon, the freshman libero for Winter Park. I would not be surprised at all to see Lyman go after him and serve receive and see if he can handle the pressure. The other is what I've been looking at is youthful experience on Lyman. Russ has been building this team for a long time. So just because there's not a senior doesn't mean they don't have experience. These guys play together at least 7 to 8 months out of the year. I don't think that inexperience is going to be a very big factor tonight.
There is Russell Williams, the head coach of the Greyhounds, now in his 13th season. 262 victories at Lyman. Didn't have any interest in high school volleyball until he took a volleyball class at Seminole State College and Winter Park. Pedro Davila, his counterpart. 92 career victories, and again led Winter Park to its first ever state semifinal appearance last season when the Wildcats finished 25-5. Winter Park graduated 3 key members off last year's team, but still a solid core from which Coach Davila had to build from going into this season, and they've performed well thus far. 11-1, their only loss coming to Timber Creek in 3 sets at the Dr. Phillips Invitational. That was best of 3. Lost 15-12 in the 3rd set. Lyman 15-0. They won that Dr. Phillips Invitational. And last weekend, while the kids were on spring break, they went to Fort Lauderdale and won the Jungle Queen tournament at Cardinal Gibbons. So glad you've joined us for our first ever boys volleyball broadcast. A lot of good volleyball in Central Florida. Bishop Moore is the defending state champion. Timber Creek having a good season. Always a strong area this year, no exception.
Yeah, absolutely. One key matchup to look here tonight already is Stash Kiersnowski lined up with Cooper Devlin. That's going to be a nice matchup on the outside for offense versus defense.
Kiersnowski has more kills than any player in the match tonight, 148. Clay Adam gets things started for Winter Park, and we're underway. First swing on the right side results in a kill for Zach Reining.
Yeah, it's a big kill coming out of the back row. Being able to establish your back row offense is going to keep the block on their heels. Defense is going to be able to set up against the 2 front row attackers.
Junior setter Noah Roman set to put it in play for Lyman. And an attack error, Jordan Little unable to handle that challenging set. Lyman gets the first 2. Again, a terrific crowd on hand tonight. Lots of interest in this game from the Lyman community, and they have come out in full force. And Roman dials up an ace, but an overrule from our up official, JP Santosofia. He calls it out, and Winter Park gets its first point.
Yeah, very close.
Roman again to the right side. Kenny Lawrence, the 6'5 sophomore, rising for his first kill.
Good. Yeah, great job by Noah running a double quick. That forces both blockers to come in and choose who they're going to help block on.
After the kill, Lawrence set to serve it up. And a wild swing from Cooper Devlin Lyman with 2 kills, Winter Park with 2 attack errors in the first 5 points.
Yeah, it looked like Cooper was going for a touch off the high hands there and just missed it.
4-1, Lyman leads here in the opening set. And another serve deep into the court, that one on the line, and an ace for Lawrence.
They're coming out serving very, very well, both teams. Lyman right now is holding up under the pressure, just a little bit better in serve receive. Winter Park's going to have to pick this up.
Lawrence has only been playing volleyball for a year, was a baseball player before deciding to take up the indoor sport. First swing for Evan Lockwood results in a point for Winter Park.
Great job going high hands off the middle. Middle didn't close all the way because of the good pass. That's what good offense and good passing does. It allows the blockers to be a little bit late, allows the attackers to get a good touch off the high hands.
Lockwood with double-digit kills in 4 consecutive matches for the Wildcats, certainly playing his best volleyball of the year. Kiersnowski's first swing does not make it across the tape, and an attack error committed by the Greyhounds. There's the freshman libero Gordon, who Mitch talked about. Kiersnowski with a monster swing on the outside.
Great job playing out of system volleyball. Libero Burkhart comes in, takes the second ball, and Kiersnowski goes and hammers it. Block probably needs to leave a little bit earlier on that.
Great start for Lyman. The homestanding Greyhounds a 6-3 lead. After the kill, Kiersnowski with a nasty jump serve. Devlin's seen a lot of action on the right side. Zach Reining with a block.
Even though we missed, one thing to keep an eye on is that block. Great job by the blocker penetrating. Even if that ball had penetrated the tape, they wouldn't have gotten past the block.
Another swing for Lockwood. That one off the antenna. And Winter Park struggling to get into an offensive rhythm right now. Three in a row for the Greyhounds, an 8-3 advantage. Again, there's Devlin right side. And another attack error committed by the Wildcats. And an early timeout for Winter Park coach Pedro Davila with his team trailing 9-3.
Yeah, it's going to be an important timeout. You want to avoid runs. Right now, Pedro's telling his team just to relax. There's a lot of tenderness. They're passing very well. The hitters just look like they're afraid of the block. Settle the hitters down, make sure they're playing volleyball, get into their transition game, let the points come, and just relax a little bit more.
This is a Winter Park team that's won 4 in a row against Lyman and has ended Lyman's season in back-to-back seasons in the district championship match. So you know this is one that's been circled on the calendar for quite some time for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, absolutely. The other part of this is what we talked about with that youthful experience. This team is very familiar with each other. They're coming off of spring break, so even that week layoff, this isn't going to affect Lyman as much as it's going to affect Winter Park.
Winter Park did not play during spring break, and as we mentioned at the top, Lyman went down to Fort Lauderdale and won the Jungle Queen tournament against a strong field. They beat Cardinal Gibbons in 4 sets to bring back the title. 3 straight service points for Kiersnowski. And there's Lockwood ending the run. No touch. The ball was out. And the point to the Greyhounds. One of the things Russell Williams talked about was wanting to control his team's emotions for the first 10 points. Didn't want him to get too caught up in the moment and playing on TV for the first time. And his kids acquitting themselves well so far before that miscommunication.
Yeah, I think that hopefully is the spark that Winter Park needs to get back on a roll. One thing they're also going to have to do is start running their middles a little bit more. They've been very outside heavy. That's letting the block load up on the outside hitters.
Cooper Devlin to serve for Winter Park. Back row sing for Kiersnowski off the hands of Devlin. Second kill for Stash Kierzynowski. Wayne Noon checks in for Lyman. He'll serve. 5'10 junior right side. And underneath the net, the setter Clay Adam. That pass tight to the net, and Adam unable to keep it in play without making contact. Zach Reining, the junior outside, can't put that one across. And both teams right now scoring a lot of points because of their opponent's errors.
Yeah, just what I was thinking. This has been a very error-filled game. If Winter Park's going to get back into this, they're going to have to rely on their offense to score points, minimize their own errors, and hopefully they can get a few lucky breaks going their way.
The block is out. Credit Reining with a kill. That was off the hands of Julio Nieves, the 6-foot senior middle blocker for Winter Park. 13-5 Greyhound advantage here in the first set. Lockwood out of the back row. Can't put it down. Adam comes outside, and he is stuffed. Ball still alive. Lyman started to celebrate as if the point was over. Another swing for Jordan Little. Blocked again, but it's out. Oh, Kenny Lawrence is beside himself.
That ball looked down. That's why it's always important. Until you hear the whistle, you've got to keep playing through the play.
A lot of emotion on that Lyman side right now, and an ace. Miscommunication in the back row. Julio Nieves, the 6-foot senior, just his 6th ace of the season.
Short memories. On bad plays like that, you've got to be able to have a short memory, focus on the play coming up.
Winter Park for the first time gets back-to-back points, and now another ace. Perfectly placed from Nieves, right between Burkhart and Zach Reining.
Volleyball is a game of runs. Very rarely will you see one team take control and just make it a blowout. It's being able to absorb the runs and build yourself a big enough cushion to keep the lead.
After back-to-back aces, a service error from Nieves.
And I'm sure Coach Davila will take that. 2 aces to 1 error is a great ratio.
14-9, Lyman in front. Little, stuffed again. Roman and Lawrence putting up a formidable front row block.
Yeah, great penetration, great read by the middle, realizing that Winter Park could not run their middles. He released to the outside, got a well-formed block in front of the outside hitter.
Roman going outside for Kierzynowski. His 3rd kill of the match. 3 straight from Lyman to end the Winter Park momentum. It's 16-9 Greyhounds.
Being able to create your own points, creations and conversions are huge in winning volleyball matches.
First attack out of the middle for Seton Olbert, and the 6'2 sophomore delivers.
Getting those middles involved is going to be huge. Getting the middles involved. Great pass, no left side or no right side help from Noah Roman. He needs to realize when the attacker swings to the backside, he can move in and help block on the middle.
Both teams passing well so far. On 2, it's Roman playing it deep into the court for a point.
Probably more of a missed block opportunity. On a tight pass like that, you need to be able to read the front row setter and see, is he going to block, is he going to tip, is he not going to tip?
Seven-point advantage for the Greyhounds. Adam for Little. Handled well by Burkhart. Kierzynowski through the block and down.
Again, as a hitter, it's very important to realize you don't always have to hit the floor with the ball to get a kill. Using the block a lot of times is going to be your best friend, whether it's to keep the rally going or to score points off of a poorly formed block.
Jump serve from Noah Roman, and Winter Park is called for being out of rotation. Robin Kruder, the down official, with the quick whistle after that serve. And the Wildcats certainly not in a position where they can afford a mental mistake to give up a point. Another ace from the back row. Roman's jump serve goes deep into the court. Largest lead of the night for the Greyhounds. It's 20-10 here in the first set.
I think Pedro right now is going to talk to his team. Again, trying to get him a little bit more fired up, but realize this set here is probably a little bit out of reach. What he wants to talk to his team about is relax. The pressure's not on them anymore. Play good volleyball. Try and get a run. Score 2 points to one of Lyman's. Try and get this a little bit closer. My goal here would be to get to 25-18, 25-19, cross the net with a little bit of momentum and start looking towards set two.
And we've seen that before in some of our girls broadcasts that we did during the season. Big in terms of emotion to at least get something to feel positive going into that second set.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to coaching, there's a lot of teaching that goes on at the high school level, and one of those is managing emotions. You really want to look at the psyche of your team, where their confidence is, what they're focusing on. If they're not focusing on the right things, making sure they get back to their basics. What is Winter Park going to do to be successful against Lyman? And then start focusing on those things moving ahead.
5 aces for Lyman in this first set, a big part of their success. And a lethal jump serve from junior setter Noah Roman. And the old broadcaster's curse, just as I start to give him credit, he commits an error.
One of the cardinal sins of volleyball. You can ask Carl McGowan, never miss a serve coming out of a timeout.
Jordan Little has seen the majority of attacks for Winter Park in this first set. There's the middle. Preston Geyer, first swing for the 6'4 junior.
Great offense. Even though the block was there, it wasn't a very well-formed block. They had their hands on their own side of the net. The middle had an opportunity to score off that.
Lockwood on the outside, and Lyman called for being in the net. Kyle Reed, 6'2 junior middle blocker, made contact with the tape.
I think moving forward, one of the things that Pedro wants to talk to his team about on Winter Park is making sure those outsides aren't afraid of the block. Just looks like they're very tentative going out.
Freshman Aaron Gordon to serve for the Wildcats. Lockwood keeps it in play, and a terrific effort from Little to get it across. Lockwood looked like he had an awkward approach and put that ball well out of play.
That is the 40-year-old man move. Look for hands and swing for the walls. He just happened to miss on that one.
The lead back to 10 for the Greyhounds. 3 points away from closing out this first set. Greyhounds got an overpass but couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, definitely the defense being caught on its heels. One of the things you want to talk to your defense about is making sure that their eye sequencing is correct. Ball setter, ball hitter. Watch the ball off the pass. Is it tight? If it's tight, is it coming over? If it's coming over, you need to adjust.
Perfect set and a strong connection. Noah Roman and Kyle Reed.
Perfect passing is a block's nightmare. It's very hard to read. It's very hard to load up on hitters. You can run the middle all day long when you're passing in system like that.
23-13 here in the first set. Pierzynowski out of the back row. Can't put it down. Adam comes to Lockwood on the outside, tipped across and out. Winter Park has helped Lyman in this first set with a number of attack errors. Greyhounds up 24-13. Wayne Noon a chance to serve it out. Lockwood off the hands of Reed.
Great adjustment by Evan. That ball was drifting outside a little bit. He was able to find the middle's hands and run it off out of bounds towards the 5-4 zone.
And he's the player that has to get going if Winter Park has any hope in this match. Lockwood leading the Wildcats in both kills and blocks. And he doesn't help his team's cause there. A service error. One of many errors for Winter Park in that first set. A strong start for Lyman. The homestanding Greyhounds dominate the first set. 25-14. Unbeaten Lyman looking every bit like the 15-0 team we expected to see. 25-14. A strong home crowd cheering on the Greyhounds here in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week.
The Brighthouse Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Right now at Subway Restaurants, get a 6-inch Black Forest ham sub for just $3. Subway, eat fresh.
Lyman dominates the first set, 25-14 here in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Brighthouse Sports Network is your home for high school sports. We're the only channel where you can get exclusive coverage of regular postseason and championship games. You're watching Brighthouse Sports Network, available only to Brighthouse Network subscribers. And after a busy fall in which we did a number of girls volleyball matches, this is the first boys volleyball match ever here on Brighthouse Sports Network. We'll also have the state finals for you coming up in mid-May. And Lyman looking like a team that could potentially make a run to the state finals after that first set.
Well, absolutely, and the key to volleyball is passing and ball control. Can you control the ball? Can you control the tempo of the offense better than the other team? Right now, Lyman's just doing a better job of that. I think the passing is about even once you take the aces into consideration, but those aces weren't physical contact errors. They're all communication and mental errors. That's something both teams are going to want to work on. Now, for Winter Park to get back into this match, they're going to have to run their middles a lot more. Whether those middles are getting kills or not is totally irrelevant to the situation. At least put in Lyman's middle blockers' minds that Winter Park can run the middle. That's going to open up things on the outside for both Jordan and Evan Lockwood.
Set two starts with a serve from Zach Reining. An overpass is set right back down by Kiersnowski.
I'd love to see the setter be a little bit more aggressive on that. He knows the ball's going over. I'd like to see him turn, joust, and try and put that blocker back on his butt.
You would think key for Winter Park to get off to a good start in this second set. Hitting it off the block is Jordan Little.
Yeah, it's a great job. Blockers, again, I've seen a lot of hands going straight up towards the antenna. You got to make sure you penetrate, put those hands through the other side of the net, take away an area of court.
Little, a guy who comes from a volleyball family. His father, Aaron, played at Osceola before the sport was sanctioned. Lyman in the net, so Winter Park has a 2-1 lead.
That's one thing I've liked about Noah so far in this match. He's very aggressive on the ball when it's tight to the net. He's going to look to joust. He's going to look to tip. He's going to challenge the blockers.
And a wide serve from Clay Adam. That was something we saw quite a bit in the first set, was Winter Park committing servers errors to give Lyman easy points.
Yeah, you've got to give yourself opportunities, especially in a match like this. You want to take control. You want to take advantage of every opportunity to gain momentum. Missing serves is just going to kill that.
Noah Roman returns the favor. So the teams trade service errors. Winter Park a 3-2 edge. Another terrific swing on the right side from Kenny Lawrence.
That's the second time in that rotation they've run that double quick. Winter Park's blockers are going to have to start communicating, realize they've run the back one both times on that. Evan's going to need to read that, reach inside, make sure you take away the angle, force the hitter to go back down the line across or away from his body. Lawrence leads the team in blocks, described by Russell Williams as the team's second best offensive weapon, even though he's only been playing volleyball for a year. And you see a lot of potential in that kid. Oh, absolutely. This team is full of athletes. They're definitely taller than Winter Park. Athletically, they're probably one of the more dynamic teams in the area.
Back-to-back service errors. One from Lyman and then Aaron Gordon, the freshman.
That will give you gray hairs very quickly as a coach. Just ask me.
Kiersnowski's serve is in play. From the back row, Kiersnowski can't put it down. Little will try the right side, and a double contact called against Jordan Little. Lyman won the first set 25-14, up one here early in set two. Lockwood has to set it across. That ball off the roof and down. The roof here at Lyman is low. That pass from Gordon made contact with the lower part of the ceiling, and the ball goes down to the floor.
As we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, I really thought Russell and Lyman were going to go after Gordon at the libero position, both in serve receive and on defense. His teammates are going to have to start taking a little bit more court, take the pressure off him a little bit, let him relax, let him catch his breath.
Roman in the middle for Kyle Reed. That ball did not make it across the tape. Winter Park stops the Lyman run. It's now 6-5.
Yeah, you look at that as a little bit more of a gained opportunity for Lyman. Even though they lost that point, being able to run the middle is going to keep Winter Park's blockers on their heels. It's going to be tougher for them to read and load up on the outside on good passes.
Reining. Cooper Devlin was able to put that ball up, but Winter Park can't get to it.
Yeah, that's just big blocker or a big hitter against a little blocker. Tough to do against anything like that.
Reining 6'3", Lawrence 6'5". Lyman certainly a size advantage, and how about the adjustment on that play from Julio Nieves?
That is a very athletic play and a great job keeping his hands high. That, I think, is probably one of the most important kills Winter Park has had. I'd love to see them go to the middle more often. Their passing's been really strong.
Nieves just 10 kills coming into this match. He delivers there to make it 7-6. And Roman in the net on the tight pass.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of indecision. I don't know if he knew if he was quite that tight to the net. Looked like he was trying to go to the middle and wasn't sure if the middle was there or not.
The Canadian-born Lockwood sends it across. Out of system swing for Reining, and he puts it into the net.
I'm really liking the serve by Lockwood right now. He's pinpointing his serves really well. They're really working on number 10 right now, Zach Reining. They're trying to push him out of his attack pattern, make him uncomfortable, see if he's comfortable going from pass to attack.
Lockwood again at Reining down the line. Good pass this time. Reining with the attack, and it is in on the line.
Yeah, very nice adjustment to that set. One of the things that Pedro's doing to try and take away the offense right here is he draws the offense to the left. Block didn't get over there quite in time. I'd like to see that blocker release a little bit earlier once he knows the ball's going to the outside.
8-8, a much more competitive second set thus far. Nieves again in the middle off the hands of Lawrence. His second kill in this set.
Yeah, great job. Again, the passing's there. Now it's just the setter's job to get the ball going through the middle. A really nice job by Clay sort of settling in right now, realizing what he has to do on serve receive to get the middles involved. That is going to make Evan Lockwood and Jordan Little that much better when the ball's in system.
Nieves with a service error, and this is a Winter Park team that is without Baron Hahn. 6'6" sophomore, middle and right side, injured his elbow. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. He's the most efficient attacker on this team. Pedro Davila said that injury was a big blow to what they do offensively, as Kiersnowski with a pulverizing swing that sent Lockwood to the ground.
Yeah, the matchup on the outside with Adam blocking is going to be a tough one all night. They're really going to have to focus on their side-out game, making sure the blocks spread, and making sure they can get out of these front row rotations.
And Lyman's attackers a bit ambitious, wanting to send that overpass down before it was a cross. Violation.
And that is a sigh of relief from Winter Park.
Lockwood with the back set for Little. Reining out of the back row. It's long, but a touch.
Great job by Noah Roman adjusting. He realized he didn't have any outside attacker. Kiersnowski had come in to play that ball in defense, so they went out of the pipe, the middle part of the court on the back row attack. Great job in transition, trying to figure out how to point score.
Just off the fingertips of Cooper Devlin.
A little micro touch.
Another good pass, Little on the right side. Kiersnowski got enough of it to send it back down for a point.
Little lesson for you setters and younger volleyball players. After you set the ball, turn around, be ready to cover. Don't expect your hitters to get a kill all the time. You always want to be playing on the coverage side after you set. Make sure that you can keep the play alive.
Roman serve into the net. Winter Park back within one. 12-11 Lyman here in set number 2. Greyhounds took the first set 25-14. Adam has to take the first ball, so it's Little that sets Lockwood.
Great job keeping the ball in play. Now I'll try and score on defense.
And a block from Lockwood. Not much on that swing from Preston Geyer.
It's a tough ball to take when you're taking a cross-court set on the right side and the ball's coming across your body. You're always at a really awkward angle, and a great job by Evan keeping his hands high on that block.
Jordan Little's serve is long. Both teams in this second set struggling at times to put the ball in play from behind the service line. And it seems as though every time one team commits a service error, the other returns the favor. 13-13 and a timeout for Russell Williams and the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Russell's going to talk to his team right now. They're going to talk about how many points Winter Park has scored and how many points Lyman is scoring for Winter Park. You break down the 13-13, and if you've scored 8 points for the other team, you've really got to look at the error ratio there. Keep yourself, if you just score half of those points for you, you take those 4, you take them away, and you're now up 17-9 instead of tied 13-13. Again, volleyball is a game of errors. You want to minimize yours, force the other team to commit more. You can make volleyball very easy or very difficult on yourself based on the error play.
Russell Williams animated during that timeout. Williams and Pedro Davila, good friends. They coached against one another in the Orange Seminole County All-Star game last year. And they were the respective coaches of the year in their county. Lyman 14-4 a year ago. Teams are permitted to play 25 matches, but a tournament they were scheduled to compete in got canceled. So 14-4 with a loss to Winter Park in the district championship match. Kiersnowski, a big swing, just long. Winter Park has scored 3 in a row to take the lead, 14-13. Freshman libero Aaron Gordon puts it in play. Another block, that time off the head of Kyle Reed. What a second set for Julio Nieves.
Yeah, great pass by Burkhardt and a great read by the middle. I think the middle for Lyman was just a little bit late, allowing Nieves to almost go into a commit situation because he knew where the ball was going.
An ace from the freshman libero Aaron Gordon.
Well, that'll do a lot for his confidence for sure.
16-13. And momentum certainly with the Wildcats right now. A good pass from Gordon.
Great job by Lockwood keeping that ball in play. Hit it off the block, let your teammates cover you, and reload your offense. It's the old Bob Stavertlik trick.
One of the longer rallies of the match. Cooper Devlin can't put it down. Now Kiersnowski. That ball appeared to hit the antenna.
Great job by Winter Park. They're really starting to settle into a groove here, realizing they can't get into a rock fight with Lyman. They can't be out of system. They can't just throw the balls to the outside. They're going to have to keep it in play, and they're really going to have to focus on their defense and trying to force Lyman into their errors, which is what they're doing right now.
7 in a row scored by Winter Park. How about the look on the face of freshman Aaron Gordon? 2 service aces during this run of 7 consecutive points, and another timeout for Lyman.
Yeah, momentum. Uncle Mo is a fickle friend. You know, before Gordon just really couldn't find his bearings. He was really struggling a lot, and you can see that on his face. After a couple of aces, a couple of great digs, he's back in it. His teammates are trusting him, and he's really put himself back in the match here.
Gordon with 6 aces now in his last 3 matches. Pedro Davila said he wasn't sure how his freshman would react to the big match. And as you mentioned, this serving run certainly has to do wonders for his confidence.
Well, I think Pedro's found what he really wants to do here against Lyman. He's going to serve into the 5 zone, which is on the left side of the court. He's going to really force Russell's offense to the outside of the court.
Out of a timeout, Gordon with a service error.
Yeah, there it looked like he was going after Stosh. He was going to try and serve into the 1 zone, take him out of the pattern. Hopefully he wasn't ready for that serve. I'd like to see him really focus on just keeping that in and playing defense around it.
Adam with a bump set for Cooper Devlin.
Nice job hitting it to the setter, take the other team out of their offense.
This time it's Lockwood on the outside. Off the hands of Roman. That went straight to the ceiling and right back down to the court.
That's a great swing down the line. Now you're starting to see Winter Park play a little tit for tat. They're going to start hitting back towards 1 zone when they're in trouble. Take the setter out. See how good the other team is out of system when the ball's not in an ideal position.
Reining passed and attack. Kiersnowski out of the back row and Winter Park in the net. But the Wildcats continue to get strong work up front from Nieves and Lockwood, and that time Clay Adam with a blocking presence at the net.
Yeah, good to see. I'm sure that's going to help his confidence. Anytime as a setter you can get a positive defensive contribution, you're going to be helping your team out.
In the middle, Nieves delivers again. His 3rd kill in this set alone. You talked about Winter Park needing to go more to the middles, and they've done that.
Yeah, he's really tight, runs to the setter. It's very difficult to get a full swing on that, but sometimes you don't need a full swing to be effective.
Wildcats again out of system and a double contact against Noah Roman. Well, with momentum, Winter Park looking like a much more confident team here in the 2nd set. Wildcats lead by 6.
Yeah, sometimes this is where that youthful inexperience comes into play. Lyman's struggling. Somebody needs to step up on that side of the court.
21-15. Gary Baker, the senior defensive specialist, comes in. Nieves got another touch on that block and a free ball for Winter Park.
Great late penetration through the net by Nieves. That's what you like to see from the middles.
Lyman with a diving effort, unable to pass up the attack from Lockwood. And the Wildcats 3 points away from closing out set number 2.
Yeah, just to see how momentum can swing. Winter Park's now doing the things to Lyman that Lyman was doing to them in the 1st set.
And after 1 point, Gary Baker departs. Wayne Noon back onto the court for the Greyhounds.
See here if Evan Lockwood keeps serving into that 5 zone.
Kiersnowski, a good pass to allow Reining a swing, and that's off the hands of Devlin and into the crowd.
I'd like to see Evan stick with his jump floater and go into the 5 zone. He had a nice run of points, taking the outside hitter out of rhythm. Lyman's front row outside hitters, usually passing on the left side of the court, are really struggling to get into their patterns and really struggling to get the flow of the offense going when they're in that position. I'd like to see them attack that a little bit more tonight.
Reining again. That ball rides along the tape. Nieves, that ball in the rafters, and our line judge, Tom Cook, says the ball hit the antenna.
Now, actually what he's calling is when Clay Adam played that ball, it actually ran up outside the antenna into the net. That is an out-of-bounds ball. Great job by the line judge helping out the officials there.
22-17. Best swing of the night by far from Jordan Little as he smashes it down for a point.
I'm giving credit to that play to Nieves. By him driving on all those other good passes, the offense is able to go. The middle has to hold. That's going to open things way up for Jordan Little.
Reining this time from the right side. And Nieves, very little chance to pass that ball from the back row.
And a well-deserved 5 from Coach Davila there. Nieves had a great run through the front row.
7 kills for Zach Reining as he steps behind the service line. Lyman trailing 23-18 here in the 2nd set.
And again, I think Russell's having the same conversation with his guys that Pedro did in the end of the 1st set. Just try to get a little bit of momentum back. Try and get some 2-to-1s, 3-to-1s, where you're siding out and getting a couple points on serve.
Another terrific effort from Jordan Little. His 5th kill in Winter Park, now with set point.
And that back does not look to be hurting him and slowing him down at all tonight. He's playing a really nice match.
Kiersnowski off the hands of Seton Olbert.
Great swing, high hands there. Great job settling things down. Now what Lyman wants to do, it's not play perfect volleyball. Again, it's try and get some momentum back. They don't need 5 points. They only need 1 right here.
5 set points for Winter Park. Wildcats lead 24-19. And that ball does not get across.
It was a surprise, great pass from Gordon. I don't know whether he was expecting that ball or not. It didn't look like it, but it went into system anyway.
Adam has to scramble. This will be out of system. A free ball for the Greyhounds. Kiersnowski crushes it, and a timeout for Winter Park after Lyman scores 3 straight.
Yeah, and that's something you need to realize for Winter Park. That's the leading attacker. He's going to be getting the sets in the tight situations. They're going to want to release and get on him. I would forget about the other 2 hitters in that situation.
Lyman has been behind most of this second set. Winter Park playing loose and with a big lead. How does your mental state change as Lyman starts to creep closer?
Well, right now, as Lyman's getting closer, what Pedro wants to do with Winter Park is just get him to relax. They only need 1 point. He's trying to figure out what matchups they have at the net, what favorable matchups they have on offense, and what they want to run to isolate that attacker. What Lyman's doing right now is just not worrying about what's probably going to happen. Just score 1 more point.
Still 1 timeout remaining for Pedro Davila in Winter Park. Russell Williams spent both of his timeouts early here in this second set as his team fell behind. Good pass, Adam. And that attack is long. Jordan Little unable to put it down. Winter Park players saying that ball was touched, but no such call from the officials.
Yeah, those micro touches are going to be hard to see.
24-22, another good pass and another opportunity for Little. It's blocked. Lawrence and Preston Geyer combine on the block.
Yeah, it was actually a good play. The set was a little bit tight. Little did what he could with that. You want to try and cover it. I'd like to see him cover himself on that ball and try and get the offense back going again.
Adam with a bump set. Lockwood out of the back row. Can't put it down. Lyman a chance to tie with Kiersnowski. Great work defensively from Lockwood. Roman on the tight pass comes to Kiersnowski again, and Lyman was in the net. Noah Roman makes contact, and that's how the second set ends. Lyman fell behind 24-19, scored 4 in a row, but Noah Roman runs into the net on set point. And Winter Park takes set number 2, 25-23. A drastic change for the Wildcats. Winter Park feeding off momentum and a strong start to take the second set, 25-23. It's 1-all. Back here at Lyman High School, where it is 1 set apiece here in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Lyman dominated the first set. Winter Park fights back to win set 2, 25-23. So we'll play at least 4 tonight here in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. I'm Austin Lyon with Mitch Sadowski and our entire Brighthouse Sports Network crew. A top 5 match in boys volleyball. The 5th-ranked Wildcats and number 2 Lyman
Well, it's been very exciting for sure. I think Winter Park came out a little bit flat. They came out with a lot more energy, but they looked like they settled into their game plan a little bit more in the second set, started getting back to what they want to do, and they were really successful on that. I think the key moving forward, because now it's just a best-of-3 match, the key moving forward is to both teams to start settling in, get more comfortable, and cut down on the errors. There's a lot of points being scored for the other teams right now.
Clay Adams starts the third set. Roman on the right side for Reining. That ball makes it across. Good effort from the Wildcats to keep it alive, but Kiersnowski ends any hope of a point with his 8th kill of the night.
Yeah, that's one advantage the offense is going to have. Anytime you're that much bigger than the blockers, the defense is going to have a harder time reading around the block. That time, Lockwood tried to guess where he was going and just got beat.
In the middle, Seton Olbert. Middle's much more involved in the offense for Winter Park since the first set. Little sets it across and an opportunity for Lyman. Adam comes for Cooper Devlin. Kiersnowski once again tried the roll shot, but didn't make it across the net.
Yeah, he's been really successful out of system like that, just taking a good controlled swing, finding areas of the court that are open. I'd like to see him stay with that just a little bit more. It's really tough to roll shot and tip that far off the net.
A service error from Jordan Little. Terrific crowd on hand for our match tonight. Lockwood again tried what Mitch describes as the 40-year-old man move, and again over the block.
Seen on beaches from Florida to California.
Wildcats with back-to-back errors, and now a third.
Yeah, as we talk about that play, you're hitting it out by a lot. One of the things I'd like to see Evan adjust with, if he is going to hit that play, is try and hit it flat towards the 6 zone, towards the middle of the court, rather than trying to wipe it off. When the ball's really far outside the antenna, and it's inside the antenna but very tight, it's a lot easier to find those hands. If you're going to try and wipe it off that hard, try and go to 6 when you're off the net.
A rough start for Winter Park. The Wildcats have committed 4 consecutive errors to allow Lyman to build a 5-1 lead. Lockwood out of the middle that time.
Really nice job by 13 for Lyman. Preston Geyer moving in with the block. Once he saw the outside move in, he moved in to help. It's the middle's job to take away that path. Find the area, find the attack approach by the outside, and put your hands through it.
Kiersnowski on the right side. That attack is wide. Winter Park had a long serving run in that second set with freshman Aaron Gordon behind the service line, but that time he puts it in the net. Second service error of the third set for the Wildcats. Adam in the middle for Nieves.
Again, it's a great job going to the middle. Maybe not a perfect pass, but it's definitely a good enough pass to run middle. One-on-one situation, the advantage is always going to go to the offense there.
Nieves with 4 kills. That's his season high. Answered on the other end by Kyle Reed.
That's a great job and a play I love. When you get pulled to the left as a setter, you always want to try and get to the middle. The middle blocker on the opposing team's not going to be ready. They're thinking that ball's going to the outside. Great job going to number 9 there for Lyman.
Tight pass, Adam, no chance as Zach Reining went up. And for the second time tonight, the Wildcats are called for being out of rotation. This is reminiscent of the first set when Winter Park committed a myriad of errors to make things easy on Lyman. Greyhounds a 5-point lead. Kiersnowski from the back row. He now has 10 kills in the match, and Lyman has 10 points. A timeout for Winter Park.
body language is huge here. And outside of a 6-point deficit early, I think that's one of the things that Coach Davila is looking at. Body language on Winter Park starting to drop. They're starting to look around. They're starting to get real quiet. When you give up runs of points, that's the time where you want to be talking more to your teammates. You want to keep everybody up. You want to see what's going on the other side of the court. Talk and figure out what's been successful in the past. Try and repeat that success. Block out everything else that's going on and get back to what you've been doing to be successful.
Pedro Davila, a native of Puerto Rico. Spent some time in the U.S. coaching at Bishop Moore. In the early 2000s, coached boys and girls, moved back to Puerto Rico, and now in his 5th season at Winter Park after moving back to the United States. He also coaches the girls team at Celebration and has taken a program that was irrelevant largely in Osceola County and made it into one of the better programs in the county. 18 wins last year, including a regional appearance, the first in school history last year at Celebration for Pedro Davila. Reed again. That attack is long, and you see him communicating with Noah Roman about that set.
Yeah, he got trapped into his armpit just a little bit, but middles and hitters, once the ball leaves the setter's hands, it's your job to keep the ball in play.
Reining on the outside. And in this 3rd set, Reining and Kiersnowski have started to really assert themselves in the front row for the Greyhounds.
That's a great shot into the 5-6 seam, the deep corner of the court. Just caught Cooper Devlin moving a little bit on defense.
Service error from Burkhart.
Yeah, he scored a couple on offense off his serve. That's what I would call probably an acceptable miss. You just want to make sure that you're getting that ball back off the side out right away, which Winter Park comes right back and helps him out with.
It's Nieves who will walk to the bench. An interesting story. He played 3 different sports at Winter Park, qualified for states in wrestling this year, despite having never wrestled before in his life. Net moves, but no whistle from either official.
I think it was the wind.
Good pass from Burkhart to set up Kiersnowski.
Hey, great job out of system again by Lyman. What I'd like to see on the Winter Park's team is Little, Lockwood, and Devlin taking more vocal leadership on the court, not just with themselves, but getting their team together, bring them into a huddle, settle them down a little bit, and someone go out and make a play.
Little with a perfectly placed attack right into the deep corner in front of Tom Cook for his 6th kill.
Yeah, very smart shot. Try and find that deep corner. It gives you the most amount of court to hit into. When in doubt, chuck it back there. Hopefully good things will happen. If not, you at least get an opportunity to play transition defense.
Clay Adam likes to surf in his spare time. And he dials up an ace, a miscommunication between Chad Burkhart and Wayne Noon.
Yeah, Wayne's in there for defense. I'd like to see him be a little bit more vocal, call that ball in or out, and get the heck away from it.
Wildcats trailing 13-8. Kiersnowski rips it down the line, and a touch spotted from Tom Cook.
Again, that ball's out of system. We know where the ball's going to go.
And an overrule. JP Santa Sofia says no touch. Winter Park gets the point. Reining trying to end the run. That ball rides along the tape after being touched by Olbert and lands on the Winter Park side.
Yeah, great smart shot out of the D. The back row, right side attack from Reining. Trying to find that middle blocker on the way down.
10 kills for Zach Reining. He and Kiersnowski into double digits with their attack for Lyman. Olbert off the hands of Kenny Lawrence. Roman tried to keep his body away from the net, but just couldn't make it happen. That's the 3rd or 4th time Roman's been in the net for Lyman.
Yeah, it's a tough ball for a back row setter, trying to run all the way to the net. Love the job by the middle, keeping that ball in and giving themselves an opportunity to score a point for Winter Park. That leads to another point in transition on an attack error by Lyman.
Wildcats back within 3 at 14-11. Another tight pass. Roman that time doesn't hit it in the net. Kiersnowski's attack off the tape and out of bounds.
Well, that's a great set by Noah Roman. I love that play. He was just in the net trying to take it with both hands. One hand set. You can't double a ball if you only hit it with one hand. Great work by him.
Winter Park has scored 4 straight. They now trail by 2, 14-12. Russell Williams trying to calm his crew down, and Pedro Davila really thrives on emotion. When his team is playing well, he is very excited along the sideline, and his team seems to respond in kind.
Well, that's definitely the Puerto Rican heritage. I have never known a Puerto Rican to not be very fiery, very passionate, especially in volleyball. And a lot of times teams play and take on the character and the personality of their coach. And Winter Park's no exception.
Brighthouse Sports Network is your home for high school sports, and each week we honor a student that excels on and off the court. You can meet the BHSN Athletes of the Week by logging on to BHSN.com.
So one thing for Winter Park to pay attention here, Lyman's in rotation 1. They've run a back quick to 15. All 3 times they've been in this rotation. This time they go away from him.
Great dig in the back row by Jordan Little to keep the play alive. Another swing for Kiersnowski. Nobody there to dig that time.
No, and a great job mixing up the offense. Even I thought he was going to go back one because it was working. He goes to the outside. Winter Park's off balance again because the ball's in system, because they've done other things before that to set that play up.
Lockwood taps it across. Diving effort to keep it alive from Roman. Little tries to fist it across. That's unsuccessful. So after Russell Williams' timeout, Lyman scores back-to-back points to push the advantage to 4 at 16-12. Devlin through the block and down for a point.
Yeah, great job challenging the block, trying to find the weak areas, not just hitting into hands, but looking for those small edges, those small seams where you can be successful.
Tied at 1 set apiece. Lyman dominated the first set 25-14. Winter Park had to hang on to win the second set 25-23, and Kiersnowski starting to find a rhythm offensively for the Greyhounds.
Again, a great pass, middle's late. Nevis does what he can to try and get over. Adams just a little bit late closing into that seam.
Devlin, a nice job to send that ball to the Lyman side. Roman goes to the outside for Reining. It's been a productive third set for Reining and Stash Kiersnowski. Now 11 kills in the match for Reining, the 6'3 junior.
Yeah, I think the key to this set so far has been Lyman's been much better out of system and taking care of their opportunities than Winter Park. One of the things that I like to say to my teams is be good at being bad. Sometimes you're going to play ugly volleyball. You've just got to fight through those times and be much better at it than your opponent.
Kiersnowski out of the back row, off the hands of Devlin.
And again, not exactly how you would draw up good-looking volleyball, but Lyman's just sort of weathering those bad contact storms, trying to get themselves in some type of offensive attack and get themselves a comfortable swing.
14 kills for Stash Kiersnowski, and here's a look at what he's done so far tonight.
Yeah, a nice kill by the outside, middle's late closing over there. Cooper Devlin just couldn't get over into that seam, and again, being more aware of that pass, blocking, and then an off-the-net attack, finding those hands. Just kind of like what we were talking about there.
And what we're seeing during that highlight reel is that he's been hitting from a variety of locations on the court.
Yeah, I think that's one of the keys to Russell's offense with Lyman is, even though Stash is their leader, it's a very balanced attack. You've got about 25 to 30% of the sets going to him, another 30 to 25% going to Reining. The middles are getting their share, the right sides are getting their share. When you're in system, it becomes very difficult for the defense to try and key on one person.
Greyhounds a 19-13 advantage here in the third set. Lockwood storming in from the middle, dug by Burkhart. Lockwood has to set it across. Burkhart with the bump set for Reining.
Again, Lyman, a great example of be really good at being bad. Those weren't ideal ball control contacts, but they got themselves back in system and a good swing.
Lockwood tips it. Roman comes up to play that ball. Kierzynowski out of the back row.
Love the commitment to defense that Noah Roman's playing right now. Setters have to be the second libero on the court. Make that commitment, make defense your first priority. Realize there are 5 other players on the court that can take that second contact to get it to your attackers. You don't want to play shorthanded on defense.
A service error ends the run for Lyman.
Tough miss. You definitely don't want to miss float serves.
21-14. Greyhounds leading by a touchdown here in the third set. Roman, back set for Kierzynowski. Good block from Winter Park, but the play stays alive. Kierzynowski again. Lyman now has 34 kills in the match. Winter Park only 14.
Well, that's the key right there. This match is tied 1-1 with Lyman taking advantage here in set 3, 22-14. But when your disparity in kills is that much, you've got to start looking at what the errors are doing to you.
Kierzynowski 16 kills on his own to just 14 for Winter Park. Lockwood answers with a good swing on the outside.
Yeah, it's a great job finding that 1-6 seam, going a little bit outside the block, but not hitting that pure line shot where the defender's waiting.
For the kill, Lockwood puts it in play from behind the service line. Roman for Reed. And when those two have a good connection, Reed looks like a heck of an attacker.
Yeah, get it up there and let him go get it.
Third kill for Kyle Reed, 6'2" junior. Nieves answers.
I am loving what that kid is doing tonight. He is doing everything that's asked of him. He's helping keep his team in the match. Now if they can just get him a couple more touches and we can get the outsides going, Winter Park's going to make it a great set 4.
Season high 5 kills for Nieves, by far his best offensive match of the season. That ball set across by Clay Adam, but he made contact with the net.
Yeah, I just love the fact that he was more aggressive on that he actually tried to push that ball. That's something that he'll learn later on in this match, where he is, what he can do with the ball, and how to be successful being aggressive, just like that. Again, even though it's an overpass, he's being more aggressive.
Lyman takes the third set, 25-16. Stash, Kierzynowski, and Zach Reining are dominating the front row for the Greyhounds. Kierzynowski now has 17 kills in the match. That's more than Winter Park's entire team. Lyman up 2-1 after a 25-16 win in the third.
The Brighthouse Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Right now at Subway Restaurants, get a 6-inch Black Forest ham sub for just $3. Subway, eat fresh.
Lyman up 2-1 here in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. For an update on Cypress Creek and East River, we send it to Despina Barton. All right, Despina, thanks so much. Austin Lyon and Mitch Sadowski, our entire Brighthouse Sports Network crew on hand. for our first ever boys volleyball telecast. It's a top 5 matchup. Lyman trying to remain undefeated. Winter Park with just one loss, trying to secure the #1 seed in the district, but right now having all kinds of trouble with Lyman outside hitter Stash Kiersnowski, who just delivered his 18th kill of the night.
Yeah, that is a bad matchup right now for Winter Park with Clay Adam versus Stash. They're really going to have to focus on their side-out game, getting Clay away from that net, getting him into the back row, and letting Cooper come up and take more defensive responsibility at the net.
Kiersnowski, a member of Team Florida High Performance last year. His brother Kaz actually is a middle at Lake Mary, but he's in the engineering program here at Lyman. Kenny Lawrence had a strong first set. Haven't heard much from him since, but he starts the 4th set with a strong swing.
Now, right now, the size difference that Lyman has over Winter Park is really starting to take hold. They're in system. The middles are running free. The blockers have no idea where the ball is going. They really got to try and get Lyman out of system, either with some tactically placed serves or a little bit more aggressive serves as well.
Good swing from Seton Olbert, the 6'2 sophomore middle, with his 2nd kill. And Winter Park, as you mentioned, the 2nd set is at its best when the middles are performing well.
Yeah, absolutely. You get very predictable when you're just going out to your outsides all the time. Just giving your middles a little bit of love is going to help a lot, both to keep them interested and to keep the defense on their heels.
Diving effort from Little to keep that play alive. Preston Geyer, the 6'4 junior, with his 3rd kill. And all 3 attacks in this 4th set so far from Lyman from 3 different players.
Yeah, love it. Their distribution is what makes this team run. Because they're in system so much, they can really isolate what they want to do attacking-wise, find the right matchups, and start moving the ball around.
Miscommunication between Adam and Aaron Gordon allows that ball to hit the floor, and Lyman a 2-point lead.
Yeah, it looked like Adam had a little bit of trouble clearing the zone on that. He's got to get it to the net a little bit quicker and start directing traffic through there.
Lockwood, cross court. Kiersnowski punches it across. A pancake from Gordon keeps the play alive, but then a Winter Park attack error.
The one thing Russell and I talked about last night in previewing the match was, I guess, a little bit of the discipline that Lyman has on defense. Right now, Winter Park's running around. They don't have a lot of idea where the ball is going to go. I'd like to see them stay set just a little bit longer without trying to run and guess where the seam's going to be.
Cooper Devlin ends a run of 3 consecutive points for Lyman.
Yeah, I'd like to see Cooper get a little bit more involved in the match. He's got a lot of volleyball experience. He's been playing since he was a little kid, when his sister Wiley was at OVA. Taking that experience, taking that playing experience, he's been in these positions before. I'd like to see him be a little bit more active in the match.
Attack error from Kyle Reed, 5-4. Kiersnowski with the tip, shoved back across by Nieves.
He is doing a great job. Middle blockers, if you're late, don't give up. Keep those hands high. Good things are going to happen.
Well, after Lyman scored 3 in a row, Winter Park is answered with 3 straight. Devlin able to get it across. Kiersnowski off the tape and out of bounds.
We're starting to see a replay of what happened at the end of set 2 when Winter Park started to make their run. Great transition by their middles, great work at the net by their middles, and solid defense. Another great serve by Gordon down the 5 zone, taking the outside hitter out of his attack pattern.
Lockwood on the outside, off the block, and Winter Park has scored 5 straight for a 7-5 lead. Timeout, Lyman.
Yeah, one thing I'm starting to notice with both Reining and Kiersnowski, when they're in the 5 zone on the left side of the court, when they're getting served to their left, towards the line, they're tending to rush their passes, which means their passes are ending up very flat. It really cramps the offense because the hitters aren't given enough time to get into their pattern. I'd like to see them relax a little bit more, get the ball higher in the court, give everybody a little bit more time to get into their attack patterns, get their footwork set, and take better approaches to the ball.
Winter Park has scored 5 consecutive points. The Wildcats graduated 4 contributors off last year's state semifinal team, and Evan Lockwood in that state semifinal match fractured vertebrae in his neck. Jordan Little ran into him after a miscommunication at the net. He spent 32 minutes on the court before going to the hospital. And doctors said that had Little hit him an inch closer on his neck, he might have never walked again.
There's Cooper, and there is a big block. He did a fantastic job pushing his hands through the net, taking away the attack angle of the attacker, and pushing his hands through to finish on the block.
6 unanswered points for Winter Park, make it 7 as Kiersnowski commits an attack error.
Again, great job by Nieves. He's really working his butt off at the net to try and seal as quickly as possible. Leave a good angle for the defenders to dig around. Try and channel the attackers towards the outside of the court where they have less room.
Winter Park's best rotation by far has been when freshman libero Aaron Gordon serves. His error ends the serving run. Winter Park still a 3-point lead.
Good free ball opportunity given by Nieves, keeping that ball in play.
Lockwood.
That's Winter Park volleyball right there. They're a little bit undersized, but as long as you can keep the blockers off balance, keep the ball coming, keep the other team out of system, don't give them attack opportunities, they're going to be very successful.
Lockwood double-digit kills in 4 consecutive matches for the Wildcats. That was his 6th tonight. Adam for Nieves. Good job to play it across. Here comes Reining on the outside. And as much as Lyman's outsides, Kiersnowski and Reining dominated the 3rd set. They've combined for 3 attack errors here in the 4th to allow Winter Park an 11-6 advantage.
You know, for a part-time volleyball player, Julio Nieves, a senior, is really playing a lot of smart volleyball. He's starting to recognize out-of-system opportunities and releasing to the outside.
A joust at the net. Ball stays in play. Adam goes for Lockwood. Reining down the line and wide.
Adam got caught. Got a little bit lucky there. He got caught peeking inside to the setter instead of releasing. He's got to know where his hitters are at all time.
Cooper Devlin, the senior, serving for Winter Park. Here's Lockwood again. That time Winter Park commits an attack error. But the lead is 5 for the Wildcats at 12-7 here in the 4th set.
What's going to be really important here is that they start to buckle down and serve receive. Make sure that you've worked so hard to get this 5-point gap. Don't let Lyman close that up. Make sure you tighten up and serve receive. Make sure you're giving yourselves opportunities to keep this league and keep it at arm's length.
A whistle from JP Santa Sofia and a double contact. And a substitution for the Greyhounds. Coming in is Gary Baker, the junior defensive specialist. Wayne Noon will sit.
Yeah, a little free time out there for Russell. He had an opportunity to give some guys a break up the momentum of the match.
Kiersnowski tried to step in front of Baker on serve receive, and the result was an error, an ace from Lockwood. Winter Park doubling up Lyman at 14-7.
He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that ball. When a new player comes in, they're usually pretty cold. It may just be a little bit of momentum substitution. Attack that player right away. He did a great job with that and got a free point out of it.
14-8 after the service error. Russell Williams having a word with the down official, Robin Kruder. Chad Burkhart, the junior libero, waits to put it in play for Lyman. Greyhounds 15-0 coming into tonight. Winners of 2 tournaments already this season, and the winner of tonight's match will likely have the #1 seed for the upcoming district tournament. Kiersnowski from the back row. Lockwood, an attack error.
Yeah, I like what they did in that rotation there. Cooper Devlin had a great pass. They put him in system. They ran into Nieves. This is a great rotation for them to try and side out. They have their best outside hitter up in terms of Jordan Little, and they have their other middle up. I'd like to see him side out a little bit more efficiently there.
Kierzynowski against a triple block, and Nieves just not quite over the net with his hands. So a kill for Kierzynowski.
Yeah, none of their hands. He was a little late getting through. Adams was a little late closing in as well. You've got to get good penetration to seal off the net there. Same thing we just saw with Lyman. Blockers, get your hands through the net and just hold them there. Don't think of a block in terms of blocking the ball. Think of a block in terms of taking away an area of court and shrinking the court for your defense.
Jordan Little just hammered it off the hands of Kenny Lawrence. 15-10 Winter Park. Kierzynowski has to bump it across. Reining blocked by Olbert, but just wide.
Yeah, it's a great job using the hands. Once the middle gets out, you want to make sure you sweep your hands back into six, take away the availability of that tool shot off the hands.
Lockwood out of the pipe, and that one well out of play.
Again, that's one where you have to kind of take your medicine, hit the ball in court, try and play defense around it, realize that volleyball has to be multi-rally sometimes.
Poor pass from Lockwood. Adam keeps it alive. Kierzynowski back in the front row.
Yeah,
he returns the favor with an attack here.
Yeah, that play from Evan came just one ball too late. I would have loved to see that one play earlier. Just keep that ball in. Give yourselves an opportunity. Trust your defense. Make the other team earn their points.
Kierzynowski once again through the block. Seton Olbert was there, but didn't have his hands placed correctly. Kierzynowski now nearing 20 kills for Lyman, and in fact, that is his 20th kill.
Yeah, if your hands go straight up like that, you're not a blocker anymore. You just become a target.
A service error from Noah Roman, and at this point in the match, neither team can afford to give away a point.
No, not at all, especially with just a 3-point cushion here.
Kierzynowski again, that time Olbert with a block, his hands positioned correctly. And the sophomore comes through.
Yeah, still a lot of standing around, especially in coverage on both sides. When that ball gets set to whatever hitter, players have to sprint in, get set, expect your hitter to get blocked so you can expect to play the ball straight up.
5-point advantage for the Wildcats. And a double contact. Devlin trying to play that off his foot after Kenny Lawrence hit it across. And Lawrence very upset with himself as that ball had no chance of making it across.
Just make sure you don't serve that ball underneath the net. In our practices, you got to buy donuts for the team.
That one well over the net from Preston Geyer.
Yeah, I like the set. I like the swing. It's just a 60%er. He just hit that off of his wrist, but what he was planning on doing was just chopping it down the line. Again, trying to make the defense transition, get Lyman set back on things, try and get their ball rolling as well.
Brighthouse Sports Network is your home for high school sports. Check out our photo gallery of snapshot moments from various high school sporting events each week in our new Varsity Spotlight. You can do that by logging on to bhsn.com. A 20-14 lead for Winter Park as Lyman spends its second timeout, so no more timeouts for the Greyhounds. Russell Williams' crew will be on their own for the remainder of this second set. Winter Park still has both of their timeouts. And this has been the Wildcats' best rotation when freshman libero Aaron Gordon serves. But out of the timeout for the third time tonight, Gordon commits a service error.
Yeah, that is a cardinal sin, especially, again, missing a serve out of a timeout. But when you've got a big 6-point cushion, close that team out. Do not allow them any opportunities to gain momentum back.
Lockwood hammers it down. Terrific swing.
And boom goes the dynamite from Lockwood.
The 6'1" junior leading Winter Park in kills. Here's part of the reason why.
Yeah, great in-system ball. Nice inside set drawing the block in. Not getting any left side help from Lyman. If they're going to run that bunch blocking system, they got to make sure that the 4-zone blocker comes in and helps out with the inside attack.
Roman back row for Kiersnowski. Adam wins the
joust
at the net
great
against
play by
Reining.
Adam. I love that.
Adam again for Lockwood. Tips it over the block.
Smart play.
Nieves punches it across. Good heads-up play. Another joust at the net, and they say that Evan Lockwood was over in attacking that ball, so a point to Lyman.
Yeah, that ball was pretty close. As a blocker, I always like our blockers to go up and touch that, or at least be aggressive on it. I'm not necessarily sure that was over, but JP says so.
And there'll be no argument from Winter Park captain Cooper Devlin. Nieves in the middle.
Great play by Burkhart.
Roman comes to Reining. Good work defensively by Little. Adams scrambles to keep it alive.
That's the hit from Lockwood that I really enjoy.
Reining is stuffed by Nieves.
That play was all set up by Evan Lockwood. Lived to play another rally, controlled that attack in, trusted his defense. Phenomenal play by the junior.
(22-16). Winter Park a 6-point advantage. What a match for Nieves. Reining again. That time he comes through off the hands of Devlin and into the crowd.
Yeah, Nieves is really doing a great job this match. Even though he didn't get that block on that last hit by Kiersnowski, he's doing a great job keeping his team in it. Now what becomes really important is, can they side out in this rotation?
13 kills for Zach Reining. Reining once again. A touch.
Yeah, one thing Winter Park's got to look at here is getting that ball in system, not relaxing at all. They've got to keep the pedal to the metal here. Keep going, keep full speed. Think of what they've been doing to be successful. Don't relax at all.
Pedro Davila spends his first timeout. He asked if he had a timeout before he took it. He actually has both, so one more remaining. Lyman has already used its complement of timeouts here in the second set.
That's an old volleyball coach's trick. Give yourself a little bit more time. Ask the ref, hey, do I have any timeouts left? That was almost invented and perfected by Dave Shondell, the now head coach at Purdue, when he was at Muncie Central when I was coaching there.
Our entire Brighthouse Sports Network crew will pack up and head to the coast tomorrow. A top 10 matchup in softball. The 8th-ranked Harmony Longhorns travel to Brevard County to face Brad Sowers and the Melbourne Bulldogs. That game tomorrow beginning at 7 o'clock here on Brighthouse Sports Network. Kenny Lawrence, the sophomore, comes through.
Yeah, it was a quick release by the middle. I'd love to see Clay Adam hold that ball, get it to the middle, try and set something up a little bit later. Everybody knows the ball's going out there.
22-19. See if Winter Park tightens up here as their lead shrinks in the fourth set. Kiersnowski hammers it down out of the back row.
Yeah, outside dominance. One of the things we talked about earlier is not getting into a rock fight with Lyman. You've got to keep spreading the offense out and make sure that your outsides have the spacing to get the ball through, not just the opportunity. Again, right there, the middle left early, that leaves Nieves wide open in the middle, and a great conversion by him. He is having an outstanding match tonight.
The part-time volleyball player, who Pedro Davila says the main job is to block, is having the match of his career. Winter Park 2 points away from sending this to a decisive fifth set.
Well, middles keep driving, middles keep working, always be moving your feet, be active, be involved. Good things are going to happen.
Lockwood tried to tip it across. And he's frustrated as Winter Park coach Pedro Davila went after him a little bit after that attack. A lot of passion from both of those guys. 23-21, Little hammers it long. And the lead is down to 1. JP Santa Sofia says it was a touch.
That was close. I didn't see or hear it touch, but he's got a better view of it than I do.
A big call. Noah Roman goes over for a conversation with our up official, but to no avail. Set point for Winter Park. Kiersnowski ripping it through the hands of Olbert.
That is a big-time swing by a very angry outside hitter who thought they may have gotten that call go against them.
22nd kill of the match for Stash Kiersnowski.
2 points down. What you're thinking about right now, get the ball in play a little defense.
Out of system, Little sets it across. Kiersnowski again. That time Adam able to keep it alive. Little sets it across. Lyman scrambling a bit, the ball still in play. Adam for Little on the right side. Kiersnowski got a piece of it. No call as the net moves. One of the longest rallies of the match. Devlin tries to end it. Little again, hammers it down and will head to a fifth set.
It was a great swing, great patience by Winter Park, moving the ball around. This is what I was talking about in getting out of rotations 4, 5, and 6 when Clay Adams in the front row, being able to spread that ball out, have a little bit bigger block, and allows your defense to set up a little bit better behind you.
Our first ever boys volleyball telecast here on Brighthouse Sports Network has lived up to expectations. The captains come together to get ready for a decisive fifth set. Winter Park and Lyman race to 15 when we come back. Back here at Lyman High School as we get ready for a decisive fifth set in the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week. Before we get started, another check-in with Despina Barton, who's watching East River and Cypress Creek. Thank you, Despina. An outstanding crowd has showed up tonight for our first ever boys volleyball telecast on Brighthouse Sports Network, and they've been treated to a superb match. Clay Adam puts it in play to start the fifth set between Winter Park and Lyman, a race to 15. And it starts with a kill from number 15, Kenny Lawrence.
Couple things to keep in mind here for set 5 is later on in rotations 4, 5, and 6 is the matchup of Reining versus Clay Adam on the outside with Clay blocking. The other is Winter Park chose serve, which I don't normally do. I'd like to start off receiving so we get some momentum. However, Winter Park did choose the side that has won every set in this match. They're going with momentum, so we'll see how that plays out the rest of this set and eventually deciding the match.
Jordan Little evens things up at 1 here in the fifth set. As Mitch mentioned, the side that Winter Park is on right now has won all 4 sets.
Great job by Cooper Devlin talking about the offense, where they're going to match up and what they want to do. He was calling out the X, he was calling out the back one.
Stash Kiersnowski recording a kill, his 23rd of the night.
Yeah, he's having a monster match. He's getting kills when they really need it.
Lockwood trying to answer. Hammers the overpass wide. Well, you know the eyes of an attacker get wide when that ball is up in the air and coming across to your side.
Oh, yeah, I think he definitely slipped on his drool a little bit. But you know what? I like that play. I like him staying aggressive, not backing off. If you miss an overpass, sure, it's just 1 point, but keep that aggressive mindset. You'll figure out how to hit that same ball in a little bit later.
After a service error from the Greyhounds, it's the freshman Aaron Gordon. Kiersnowski blocked. Nieves and Lockwood. The block goes out of bounds. Good contact. You see Nieves saying that hit him a little bit down on his arm. So a point for the Greyhounds. 24th kill for Kiersnowski.
Good job by Cooper Devlin being aware of that ball.
Kyle Reed got a touch on the block and then hammered it down.
That ball was very close to staying on Winter Park's side. I think Lyman may have dodged a bullet there for being over the net.
Cooper Devlin trying to erase the memories of that and telling all of his teammates not to be concerned with it. 5-2 Lyman, an early three-point edge here in the fifth set. Nieves can't put it away. Reining off the hands of Devlin and out of play. And the Greyhounds, a terrific start here in the fifth set, causing Pedro Davila to spend a timeout.
Yeah, nice job by Reining, finding Cooper Devlin floating to the outside. His hands were flat. They weren't shaped back into the court. The ball in those angles, even on the block. Got to make sure you get that outside hand turned back into the court.
15 kills for Reining. 23 tonight for Stash Kiersnowski. Those two have been the primary offensive threats for Lyman, and when they've been on in this match, the Greyhounds have looked impressive.
Yeah, when they've been in system, they've been nearly untouchable. The middles have been doing a great job holding the middles for Winter Park, and then the outsides have been getting free run on the outside against the smaller blockers of Winter Park.
Kiersnowski in the back row. He's set to serve with his Lyman team leading 6-2.
Nice pass by Lockwood.
Lockwood a swing out of the middle. Reed and Preston Geyer were there, but they couldn't block it back across.
That was a nice pass. As the outsides, you want to make sure, especially in a tight match like this, when you know you're going to get set, don't give any set-me passes, which are bad passes where you know you're going to be set anyways. Keep that ball in system so your middles can get a little action as well.
Kiersnowski from the back row. Now Reining on the outside. A cross-court shot off the tape and down.
Very controlled shot. Took about a 70% swing. Knew where he was hitting based on where the defense was setting up. Really nice job by Reining.
(7-3) Nieves. That is his 8th kill of the night. Coming into this match, he only had 10 kills all season.
The entire night, I am enjoying watching him play. He is doing a great job as a senior. More of a role player, but he's really standing out tonight for Winter Park.
Pedro Davila was concerned with this being his first year on varsity. He may be a bit intimidated by this environment. He certainly hasn't shown that, as Kyle Reed, the 6'2 junior, answers with a kill to push the advantage back to 4.
Yeah, as good as Nieves has been, he's going to need a step ladder to go up with Reed on that ball.
Great swing from Jordan Little.
That's big heat and a big, important side out. Being down 3 is a lot better than being down 5. 10-4 is an almost insurmountable, 9-4 is an almost insurmountable margin. 8-5 is a little bit more workable.
Nieves has struggled with his serve at times tonight. That one was good. Reining supplying the offensive firepower along with Kiersnowski here in the fifth set.
Yeah, Winter Park just didn't have very good defensive spacing there. I'd like to see them have a little bit more room apart.
And Pedro Davila will call his final timeout with his team trailing 9-5.
Yeah, and I like the timing of that timeout. You don't want to let this point differential run up to 5. Try and get things back manageable. Side out, you're down 9-6. Talk to your team about what's going on. Try and get this back to 9-7, 9-8 before they get the ball back. Start talking about 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s, where we're not focusing on the goal of 15. We're just trying to close that gap a little bit. Once you get to 9-6, then you can make things a little bit easier on defense.
Winter Park trailing 9-5 here in the fifth set. Lyman won the first set going away. It was 25-14. Winter Park had to hold on to win the second set 25-23. The team split sets 3 and 4. And now we're in a decisive fifth set. The teams played a 15, got to win by 2. Greyhounds right now a 9-5 advantage.
Winter Park's got to start scoring some points, and they've really got to get Lyman out of system so they can't run roughshod over the outsides.
Great answer from Jordan Little. He's had a couple of nice swings here in the 5th set.
Now the key's got to be on the hitters. You've got a front row setter. You've got 2 front row outside hitters for Lyman. Start to key on those. See what they've been doing tendency-wise on the other side of the net. Start keying on them defensively.
Well, Winter Park can ill afford any errors at this point. McIntosh.
Nice touch and great help on the outside by Cooper Devlin.
Kiersnowski off the hands of Olbert. 25th kill of the night for Kiersnowski, and at times the Lyman attack has committed some errors tonight, but in this 5th set, every single attacker has been on point.
Absolutely. Winter Park's got to have a much shorter memory for things going on. Forget the play that just happened, focused on the one coming up.
Adam, again in the middle. Little absolutely punishes that ball down to the floor.
That was a thunder from Little. That was a great attack, great pass setting that whole thing up.
How about the expression on the face of Little as he went back to prepare to serve?
I love it. This team needs a little bit of fire right now.
McIntosh again comes through.
Again, short memories, forget the play that just happened. Doesn't matter what the score is, just get the ball back, then we'll figure out how we're going to score on defense.
11-7. Adam goes to Olbert, blocked by Kyle Reed.
Again, I don't necessarily think that's a killer at all. Yeah, it's a 5-point lead. You just shorten your margin up, but now you're going to be able to get the ball to your outsides.
Lawrence to serve. Adam tries Lockwood. Reed's there again.
Now things are difficult. Great job by Reed keying on Lockwood, knowing where the ball was going.
13-7. Lockwood on a slide. Reining couldn't get there.
Great misdirection. Great use of Evan Lockwood. Swing him around in the rotation. A lot of isolation on that play by Adam, trying to find a way to get a side out. It was a great job by Winter Park.
First time we've seen that offensive alignment from Winter Park tonight. 13-8. Lyman 2 points away. Reed kept alive. Will it get across? No.
Great effort by Winter Park.
Kyle Reed has been the man for Lyman in the last 4 points. 2 blocks and a kill. Match point for the Greyhounds. Lockwood blocked by Reed again. What a stretch for the 6'2 junior as Lyman closes out a 5-set thriller.
That was an emphatic stuff. Great job by Reed closing out this match.
Kyle Reed quiet for most of the night. All 3 of his blocks come late in the 5th set as Lyman defeats Winter Park in 5, 15-8, the margin in the 5th set. An outstanding match between 2 top 5 teams.
Yeah, Lyman did a great job in this 5th set, getting a little bit of separation, then staying in their game, not letting themselves get out of system, staying on top of the attacks, and not really letting Winter Park get anything going, and then extending that lead out towards the end of the set.
Winter Park fought back after being dominated in the first set, but it's Lyman that prevails. 15-8. The Greyhounds improve to 16-0. They remain unbeaten, just the 2nd loss of the season for Winter Park. And it's the first time Lyman has beaten Winter Park in the last 5 matches between these teams. The Wildcats ended Lyman's season in the district finals the last 2 years, but tonight in front of a outstanding crowd, it's Lyman that prevails.
Yeah, this is a great match for boys volleyball tonight. Volleyball in general, you want to win the serve-receive battle, which I think Lyman did, and you definitely want to win the battle at the outside hitters, the battle of the pins, which Lyman clearly did with 42 combined kills between Reining and Kiersnowski. It was a great way to kick off boys volleyball on TV here in Central Florida. It was a great match. We're looking forward to doing more.
What do you expect from these teams going forward? Lyman obviously remains unbeaten. They'll be the favorite to come out of this district. But we saw a lot from Winter Park, especially with the progress of Julio Nieves.
Yeah, clearly Lyman's stepped up and put themselves at the top of the pack here in Central Florida along with Bishop Moore and Lake Mary. Winter Park has to realize this isn't the end of things. What happened tonight, you were in somebody else's gym, you ran into a good team, you're going to have another night to come back. Lyman's going to be there at the end of the season. It's going to be a great job for them.
What a way to kick off our first ever boys volleyball telecast here on Brighthouse Sports Network. Stash Kiersnowski and Zach Reining combined for 42 kills as Lyman beats Winter Park 3-2 for our entire Brighthouse Sports Network crew. Producer Jeremy Swenson, director Dan Robertson, and my broadcast partner Mitch Sadowski. This is Austin Lyons saying good night from Lyman. The Greyhounds beat Winter Park in 5.